I've watched some of these dry bar comedy specials, and the comedians are just so good. They're just really great. They have great stuff. They say it so quickly, it's hard for me to write it down. I'm quite the comedian myself. People say, well, how do you make it look so easy, Marty? Well, I say, well, you got to have the tools. You got to be skilled with the language. That's one of the tools. I am highly skilled with the use of analogy, metaphor. In fact, let's just say that I am to metaphor like something is to whatever. Get this out of the way really quickly, because a lot of people think I made up this name, like some kind of little cute comedian's joke, Marty Pollio. And, actually, my real name's Marty Infantile Paralysis, so... I had to shorten it. Been Marty a few times on sitcoms. Like on TV, when you get TV roles, they always give comedians their same name. Like it's gonna really throw us if somebody calls us a different name. We're gonna hold up production, get confused. They give dogs a different names. At the end of the sitcoms, you see the credit scrolls where it says, and Buff the dog as Scud, but... And then Pollio is Italian. Any Italians here? Yeah. All right. Okay. I know how to get the crowd going. That's one of the tools of the trade. Get the crowd making a little noise. I am good at that. Watch. Hey, yeah, clap if you've ever been convicted of shoplifting in Saudi Arabia. Clap if you, huh? All right. Guess you wouldn't have hands. It was, something like that. I don't know. It's like, yeah, I wasn't thinking. So, a few misplaced Italians in Utah, I see. That's good. I don't know what you did, how you ended up here, but it happens. I'm full Italian. I know I don't seem it. I should be happy or something. That's what you expect out of us, right? Italians over there, right? Happy, huggy people, and everybody has to come up to me and say, gosh, man, you never smile. It takes more muscles to frown than it does to smile. Yeah, I know, I'm working out. My face can beat up your face. But it wouldn't. It's not that kind of face. I don't know why they need me to be so happy. If, they're so happy, especially you people here at Provo. It's like, I Googled it, and it's like the happiest place in the USA. That's what it says, It's one of the first, hits you see. And I don't know. That's, I'm happy. I'm happy enough. It's like I smile. I'm happy. Get off my back. You know what I mean? It's like... I don't know why I have to smile. And it's like my happy friends, like they always call me when they feel bad. I'm always the go-to guy, when people feel bad. I don't know why, but they call me and ask me for my advice, and you got to make them feel better. They'll call me and I'll say, I feel like I'm falling in a bottomless pit. Yeah, well, you're not going to hit your head. So. Try to get people to feel better, and no thank yous. But yeah, you got the glass half empty people and the glass half full, and I just feel like that glass is twice as big as it needs to be, Just get a smaller glass. My happy, bubbly friends are always the ones on the Prozac, the antidepressants. It's not guys like me. I don't expect that much. I drop my keys in the toilet before I use that toilet. It's a good day, And I've always tried to help people feel better. My brother who used to torture me when we were little, I remember he really, gave me the business, I tell you. But even him, like, you know, he was self-conscious about it. Now, we're Italian, we get these big noses, you know, like mine is big, you know, it's like, I mean, it's big enough to be like far enough from my face, like it feels like it has its own life, you know, sort of, but like, I don't know, it has its own inner life, its own philosophies and stuff, but it's, but his was like really bad, and he was self-conscious of it, so I bought him this book on self-esteem, and I said, look, you know, just hold that book in front of your face wherever you go. Then I had one of these Facebook friends that, I don't know, my Facebook friends, I don't know if you know yours, but I don't know mine. I don't know. And this guy, he felt compelled to write on his wall that he was contemplating suicide, and I thought, wow, that's intense. That's the wrong place to do something like that. A social networking site where people's only reactions can be to ignore it or to like it, you know, so. So I liked it. I thought maybe getting ignored is what got him down, you know. Printed material, good source of inspiration right there, printed material. I saw one of those motivational calendars in Kinko's, and it said right on the front cover, nothing is ever gained without some risk, so I stole it. You know, there's nothing wrong with being a little down, you know? It's like, that's why I say, you know, be careful with all this happiness, Provo, Utah, happiest place in USA. It's deceiving, and I don't trust it. It is, you know, and if you do feel down, and you know, you just turn to dear old mom and dad, you know. My mother now is in her 80s. I went up to her and I said, look, Mom, I'm feeling a little low, and you need to tell me something motivational. She said, move out. I'm happy enough, you know. I think that's pretty good. Happy enough, you know. I raised my kid. He's 21 now. I kicked him out when he was 19. He's out on his own. It's the only way he was going to get out, you know. I had to do it, and it was the best thing for him. He was one of those defiant kids, and oh, he drove me crazy. I had gray hairs going off like fireworks from this kid, and yeah, it was horrible. But anyway, now, you know, he has his own thing going. He wants to be a rapper, which I don't know anything about it. You know, I guess you rap about what you know. I'm sure he's gonna rap about being coddled and loved too much by his parents and driven to play dates. Getting participation trophies. You know, I guess that's what he's gonna rap about. But like I said, I don't really know much about rap. He's taught me some things, but yeah, I said, look, I don't discourage it because it was unlikely I would do what I did, and so I just, you know, said, look, I don't know anybody in that world. I don't have any contacts. I can't help you, but good luck, white boy. But I didn't want to do that, and it didn't work out with his mom. You know, we had a lot in common and stuff, but she started, I don't know, disliking me when she had him. While she was having him, I noticed things were changing. I was in the birthing room, you know, and I don't know why. I don't know if she really even wanted me around during conception, but yeah, women go through so much with this childbirth thing. That's bad enough, but even being pregnant, that's just weird. You have somebody living inside of you. I don't even like anybody in my apartment. So yeah, but for a while, I mean, she used to make me happy, you know. She used to leave me alone. That's all I've ever wanted, you know. But how long does that last, you know? Because, you know, for the longest time, we got along great. And then the bickering and then shouting matches. Finally, one day, she wrote me one of those Dear John letters. You know, some people call them restraining orders. She was, we had a lot in common. We liked a lot of the same things, except food was an issue, you know, because she was a vegan. Didn't even eat milk or cheese, and there's a lot of that going on. Especially here, I noticed on the menus in some of the restaurants. I guess there's a lot of vegetarians in here. Yeah. They're in here. They're just too weak to raise their arms. And they preach, too. I don't like to be, you know, preached to. Best I can do is eat animals that are vegetarians myself. just feel like if God didn't mean for us to eat animals, he wouldn't have made them out of beef, you know. But you gotta eat right. You gotta eat your vegetables. I like fresh vegetables, especially when they're wrapped in bacon and deep fried. I like that. Yeah, I don't know. Grew up on junk food, never stopped eating it, and then I hear all these dumb stories from the health nags about the junk food, like makes your hair fall out, you know, stupid stuff, you know. So, yeah. I got a lot of clear hair up here. A lot of shiny pink hair. I don't care about being bald. I've gone through all the stages, you know. In the beginning, it's traumatic, and, you know, you look in the mirror that one day and you go, well, it's part of life. Worse things can happen to me than this. And all of a sudden you find yourself pulling the fur out of your cat. I'm the only one in this household. Oh. Calico, yeah. And then you'd eventually just develop a sense of humor about it. You know, going to the Barbary, part in the middle, could you? Yeah. Hey, pal, sorry, part in the middle. Looks like Moses has been walking on your head. You know, it's like everybody has their little quips. I don't really care, though. I don't really care about it. I'd do something about it, I guess, if I did. But the only thing that bothers me about being bald is in the summer. You gotta wear the cap or a sunscreen, because sensitive skin, I'll get burned easily. And then I'll start peeling, so now it looks like I'm not only bald, but somehow managed to hang on to my dandruff all these years. But I bought a hairpiece. I bought 6 of them in a plastic bag at Costco. So. All right, well, I thought I'd do something a little different in this show, and I thought, I was talking to the people, the producers here at Dry Bar Comedy, and I said, and they were saying, hey, do you do any magic? Because I think that would go over really big, got a very various age range here. They got the, and so I thought, yeah. I told him, this was like last week. I said, I can learn some magic, whatever. And I came prepared for you, feeling like you want a little magic. I thought I'd warm up with a little of this action. Travel down a few avenues of entertainment for you tonight. That's what we're gonna do. What do we have here? It looks like a queen of diamonds. Everybody sees that. And wouldn't it be something if this queen of diamonds turned into whatever you're thinking, sir. Just go ahead and think of a card. And this is something magicians do. This is called a flourish, and it has nothing to do with the trick, It's just like, you just casually do that. Like, it's like you're saying to yourself, as an audience, you're saying, wow, our show is in good hands. And so, anyway, wouldn't it be something if this queen of diamonds turned into whatever you're thinking, sir? Name a card, anything. Anything. Go ahead.
King of clubs.
King of clubs. All right. Now, okay. Okay. No. I'm going to, just to make sure that I didn't put you up to it, I'm going to choose someone else. Because, people are suspicious. They'd be suspicious. And you, miss, go ahead. Name anything, any random card that you... Go ahead. 4 diamonds. All right. Okay, wouldn't it be something if this queen of diamonds changed into a 4 of diamonds, huh? All right, it's not really working, but I think that what that tells me is that this is a hard trick, and that's what I do. I do hard tricks. I feel like that's what sets me apart. Okay, now let's tear the card up into pieces, and I put them back in my pocket. Now, I not only feel these pieces coming back together as one, but moving from this pocket to this pocket. Oh, yeah. As if there's a mysterious pathway in front of my underwear. I pull the card out, and you're thinking, oh no, he's reaching all the way over to the other pocket somehow. No. No, not at all. I'm pulling it right out of this pocket, and look, it comes back together as one, and it also looks like it changed to 9 of clubs in the process. So. There's a lot of magic going on there, and you can imagine the delight that the crowd would have if you would have said the 9 of clubs. You know, I mean, the guy in the video said a 9 of clubs, but that's okay. You know, just feel free to come in and screw up my act. I mean, really, it's fine. It's fine. Anyway. That's just a taste of what's to come, because I do have an act, and this is choreographed to music. Yeah, brought a few things here. Choreographed to music, like the great magicians. You know the greats, Milli Vanilli and. Who else? Kitchen Magician, he is good, but I don't know, I watched these magicians on YouTube, and this one guy had his music coming out of his phone. I thought that's cool, but anyway, I don't really have this on disc or anything. But these cassettes are underrated anyway, and I couldn't find a smartphone that plays cassettes, so. I mean, you know, I'm just getting this together, and I think it's coming together really well. But anyway, this is choreographed to music like the great magicians. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to do this magic routine to trick anyone or to fool you. I am going to do it, however, to remind us all of the magic that's in our lives every day. Thank you. Thank you. So I do kids' birthday parties, too. Well, thank you. Thanks, but you know, I'm gonna move along here. I find you people to be a little immature. I'm going to round out my set in a few minutes with some juggling, especially since everybody's requesting it. I hate it when you chant like that, but yeah, you can probably tell from that piece I did mime. I was a mime. I can't hide it any longer. I know it's not cool anymore, but I did that for 7 years before I started talking. I think my parents were responsible. My parents were, like, I knew all those little, I think that's where I got all my coordination, you know, coming in late at night when I was a kid, knowing where all those little cracks and squeaks in the floor were, you know. House was like a landmine field to me, you know. Go in the kitchen, open a bag of chips like I was working with nitro or something, and do that little dance of fear again. Still didn't work. Hear my father say, "Oh, sounds like Marty's home." How can you tell? Well, I don't hear anything. Always had to put up with my parents. Typical Italian mother, addicted to religion, and my father had these illegal businesses, you know. He was one of these guys, you know. And he was a bookie. He had after-hours gambling joints and stuff like that. And he was a hot dog about it. Carried around a big wad of cash on him, rubber band around it. Drove around in a big pink Lincoln, thought he was cool. And everybody else just thought he was selling Mary Kay cosmetics. And they didn't want me to do this, you know. I didn't know that I was going to do this. But you know, I thought, you know, you think about it, like comics don't get steady paychecks like everybody else and your benefits and stuff. So I thought, you know, before I had my son, I thought I should get another regular job, you know, and I've been a performer all my adult life, and what a joke that was. Make up a resume for the real world. Yeah, what are you qualified to do? Well, I think I could pick something up here and put it over there. I'm self-taught. You ever been a salesman? Oh yeah, my plasma, mostly. Whether you're with this company or not, how do you see your future? I was hoping for some kind of workman's comp situation, to tell you the truth. You gotta have your dreams. My parents wanted me to go to medical school, and you gotta figure not many patients want to see a Dr. Pollio, you know, so. It'd be like eating a salmonella's Italian restaurant. You don't do that. So, yeah, the whole medical thing just makes me queasy. I can't even go through with the exams, you know, because as a guy, once you're past 40, everybody wants to scope you, you know, and it's like, well, you know, it's like I couldn't even do it. I tried, because you got to get the prostate exam, you know, and it's very important, and you got to be responsible. And I tried to do it. I went to the fair, and it was a state fair, and anyway, no copay, but I couldn't go through with it. I felt the cold approach with the Vaseline, and I clenched like a walnut, you know. Just scared somebody's gonna stick their finger up there too far. My left eye's gonna twitch the rest of my life. So I carry my cell phone in my back pocket, little in-house radiation therapy for the prostate. It's worth a shot. It's worth a shot. So, thanks for coming out to the show. I really do appreciate that. Everybody looks nice, and I'm getting to know the town of Provo. I had a great burger today. It was fantastic over at Cubby's, and yeah, it was really good. And so, anyway, and all you ladies looking great. I know you're waiting for a joke or something. I just thought I'd tell you look nice. You know, you want to go out? Anybody? I'll change. That saves some time, doesn't it? I do okay with the ladies, you know. It's like, I do. I tell you where to meet people nowadays. You go on those dating sites online, and it's fun. You know, you type to them, you email each other pictures, and they love my picture. They write back the same thing just about every time. Something to the effect of, ooh, wow, you're one of the best looking guys I've seen in quite a while. Lots of love, you know, LOL. And then they send me their picture, and they look pretty good too. And then you meet them in person, and you realize the picture was taken before the unfortunate ceiling fan accident. The clubs are, and the nightclubs and all that. That's stressful, you know. I was in one not too long ago, and I see somebody that I start kind of chatting with, and before you know it, you know, we're dancing the night. We sit down, get to know each other a little now. It's going pretty well, you know. We're talking, we're laughing. I'm laughing in French, you know. And anyway, she was a smoker, and she wanted to go outside and smoke. I said, all right, you know. So I stood out there with her, and just to be a gentleman, I went to light her cigarette, and I don't know, I've never, you know, the lighter. It's like, it's just kind of the side of her hair sort of caught on fire, and you know, you don't want to blow on that, just accelerate it, you know. So threw my drink on it, not realizing how much alcohol was in that drink, but rolled her on the ground and stuff, and what do you say after that? You want a piece of gum? You know, so.